Hi, and welcome to the Yarn Habit Geek podcast. My name is Laura. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Ravelry as Yarn Habit Geek. There is also a Yarn Habit Geek podcast group on Ravelry. You will find me most active on Facebook, posting lots of my whip pictures and finished object pictures and some other stuff that will come up. Alright, so this week's whips are technically whips from that I had mentioned last week, but I'm going to be showing the ones I got a little further on with working. So, first up we have, I got a lot more done on these Dalek fingerless gloves that I'm going to hopefully have finished by Niagara Falls Comic Con, which is next week. And next up, once I get it out, I've gotten a little more farther on this Slytherin Pride sock. I finally finished the heel section for it, and now I gotta work on the foot. And this one is actually getting ready for Niagara Falls Comic Con as well. And the last whip that I worked a little more on are the Grinch socks for my mom. And I'm almost finished the toes. I'm actually doing this 2 at a time, toes up, which I really like to do because I'm not exactly a fan of the Kitchener stitch. And also, the best part of doing these socks for my mom is she's the same foot size as me, so I can just measure it on my feet as I go along for her. So that way I can have it all done for her. And now time for finished objects. One I actually forgot to show in last week's episode, which is a little tiny Yoda I was commissioned to make. It's so adorable, and it's from the Star Wars crochet kit. But I used my own yarn to do this because I like the yarn that comes in the book. Not the greatest, but I prefer using the yarn I have because it's a little more to the color I like. So there's a little Yoda. And now for finished object I done back in March before the Beauty and the Beast movie came out. I was actually working on this finished object with very few reference photos, but they turned out so well. I basically made, obviously I made Beast and Belle from the ballroom scene. Let's closer look at Belle. I was able to do a little ear cuff using some gold wire I had. Got the hair. Obviously I wasn't able to do an exact replica of the necklace, but there is a necklace. And I actually used ribbon to do the detail on here. The skirt was done in so many layers, including doing some embroidery work and putting on some Swarovski crystals on it. And the back, it's got a little bustle-like on here. I actually used Crafty is Cool's skirt pattern from her Schuler sisters for obviously a skirt, and using the amigurumi book she wrote to do the rest. So, Belle, I am really proud of this Belle, and obviously I was not commissioned to make these. I did this as my own little project because I wanted to do something before the movie came out. And now let's Beast. I actually made the patterns for the horns, and I used a pet slicker brush to do all the hair, fur. Let's get a closer look. And obviously, he's got a tail. Yeah, I actually created the pattern for the legs here because I wanted them to do that bend, do the exact same as what his legs did in the movie. And here's the back. Now, hard to imagine I did this with very few reference photos and got so many details down. So I'm very proud of my Belen Beast from the new movie I made. I am currently making a Jareth and Sarah from Labyrinth, from the ballroom scene. But I'm going to talk about that in another segment for next week. Now for one of my first yarn adventures. So this past weekend I was staying in a different area of Toronto near the Porch Swing Yarn Somniacs, and I actually was there for the TTC knit-along meeting, and they were also doing their knit night, but this time they did differently, in which they brought out the spinning wheels, and I bought some roving and made this little ball of yarn. This was actually my first time spinning. I actually quite enjoyed it. I picked it up. I was able to pick up a little quickly. So I'm hoping to get a drop spindle, so that way I can get used to drafting the yarn, the roving more. But I actually quite enjoyed it. I know eventually I'm going to try and save up to buy myself a spinning wheel. But I really did enjoy spinning yarn for my very first time. And that's it for this week's episode. Next week, I'll be talking about some of my future amigurumis I'm working on and plan to work on. So, and hopefully I will have some more. I will definitely have some more finished objects for you then. Till then, stay crafty.